All right, I think we're working here. I'm starting this a little bit early today because I need to make sure everything's working. I'm gonna have this giant bar in the way. I can't avoid it, unfortunately. It's just, I can maybe try to a little bit, but it's gonna be in the way. There's not much I can do, just simply because of the setup until I can work on some changes. So let's change from this to this. As you can see, this is kind of a bit messy, but the important stuff is what's here, right? And so let's see if we can change this a little bit. Hi. I'll give it a few minutes for some people to come in. Just while waiting, the main show for Art Bloque is going to be starting at in about an hour for midnight on the East Coast. And for at the moment, I wanted to do a quick review of some of these books. I was originally going to do a recording. I wanted to do a like a pre-recorded video I can edit and throw together. And then I thought, I might as well just maybe do it live ahead of time. It'd be nice if I could get one of the authors in. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to be here or not, but I did message him today, and he hasn't been feeling 100%, but we'll see, and he might be really, really tired, so by this point. So, that being said, I have so many things hooked into my computer right now. I'm just hoping nothing crashes or explodes. I'm going to be looking over to my right quite a bit because the whole setup is over there, and yet I've got everything over here. So I'm sort of back and forth, making sure everything is okay. The chat, I have to look over here to see. I suppose I could open up an iPad over there, but at the moment, there's just so much tech open at the moment. I have like 5, 6, 7 devices going here. And there's a snowstorm outside. So as long as the power doesn't go out, nothing explodes, we're good for a little while. I don't normally like these kind of setups overhead just because I have a lot of difficulty with it. There's always something that goes wrong. This bar, for example, is in the way, and I can never do this right. For some reason, there's something never quite right with the setup, and I need a separate camera. Right now I'm using my iPhone right here, and I'm using a lavalier mic, and then up here is the Brio. Hopefully this remains in focus. So far it's looking really good. But I can't get it straight. If I tried to straighten this pad out, you'll see it's crooked, and that's because I can't turn my camera anymore yet. It's just the setup and the length of the wires and everything won't allow me to do that. So it is what it is. I'm hoping that we can get. I was hoping one of the authors, the Adam Moore who wrote this one, might maybe have seen what's going on and come in, but if not, that's okay. I thought I'd start this a little bit early just because it was ready to go, and it is a couple of minutes to 11. So I'll give a couple more minutes for him to arrive, and if anyone else is there, I can't even use my phone to make a message because my phone is being used at the moment. So let's actually let's see if he's around. No, he hasn't been on for a while. I don't think he's going to be there. That's okay. Yeah. Normally when a live starts, there's a group of us, a group of artists who have all kind of come to know each other, and I think we're all kind of connected, and we all have alerts that when we go live. So when those alerts go out, it'll pop up, and that's why I thought I'd give it a few minutes until people get here, if they see it and if they're free. And I think also tonight, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, I might be competing with Artcasters. If that's the case, I might have to start rethinking the night that I do these. I can't compete with Artcasters. So at the moment, we'll just leave it as is. I can't really change anything now, so leave it as set up, and we'll see if we can give it a few more minutes and see if somebody comes here. If you send in a message, unfortunately, by the time it gets through OBS and gets through StreamYard, it pops up like 30 seconds late, so I probably won't see your message for at least 30 seconds or more. It's even as long as a minute before those pop up. Well, it's 11 o'clock, and I've been wanting to talk a little bit about these. So I'm going to start with Frank's book. This is a little something he's had going for quite a while, which is Captain Goggles and Masked Woman. It's an adventure superhero book, and also with taken with large grains of salt, because it's humor based. It's very lively. It's very fun. It's kind of a silly romp, and Frank works really hard on these. Well, all these artists really do. They spend quite a bit of time on creating this stuff. This is very colorful. I really got a chuckle out of it. Frank has a certain sense of humor that comes through in his books, and I really got a kick out of reading this. It's very simplistic. It's sort of almost a little bit. It's a comic book, definitely laid out like a comic book. It has a little bit of a slight bit of a children's book feel to it. It's got a really nice cover on this one. This is by Frank Salazar. I will have links probably below. If I haven't put them in yet, they'll go in post-broadcast. It'll probably have to set that up late tonight after Indy comes in for Art Bloque. But that's Frank's book. This is Jacob's Apartment, and I've been wanting to do a review for this for quite a while. This is by Joshua Kemble. This is a huge project he worked on for over 10 years. The illustrations in this are, to say gorgeous is an understatement. You can see every frame in this, how hard he's worked on it through this whole book. And Josh writes really, really well. There's a naturalness to the dialogue that you can almost hear the characters talking in your head. This is not a comedy in any sense. This is a tragedy. He describes it as cross between two movies, and I'm trying to think what they are. He said it all the time. Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind meets Ghost World. I think those were the two he said. Kind of in a doomed romance, if you will. And this one's definitely not for kids. It's very adult. And as I read this, you really get inside this character's head. The dialogue is so clear on this, and by the time you get to the end, it's a hard-hitting ending. This really struck me. Certain aspects of this book really struck me. It struck home, a little too close to home maybe, with a couple of details, and I can't go into it at the moment, but there were certain aspects that really that I related maybe a little too much with. And it's not in the aspect that you think, but this is the book is just a phenomenal read. I was glued to it. There was a point I kind of had to stop actually, and had to pick it up later to finish it. But anyways, he worked hard on this, and I so thoroughly enjoyed it. I've read it like about 3 or 4 times now. But this is by Joshua Kemble. I think I'll have to talk to Frank to find out where to get his. I know Josh is on his website and Amazon. You can actually get this on Amazon. And oh, hey, we got Frank in. You missed the beginning of the show. I am trying this weird setup that is not working very well. So I'm looking over here to see text, and I got to come back over here to actually do a review. But I just talked a little bit about your book. I'm going to have links to it shortly, because I wanted to review the 3 that I've received from you guys. So I've talked a bit about yours, talked about Josh's, and I was just going to talk a little bit about Adam's. So yeah, we have Frank himself in the chat here. The last one I just received a couple of days ago, which is Adam's, And this is Toad Road Comics #2. I still have to try and get #1. Again, links will be down below. Adam has a really unique style. He is very much influenced by a lot of the older style comics. You can see it in his work and in the style. This is very reflective of goofy, off the wall kind of. Oh, there's an influence of kind of the I don't want to say simplistic. They were actually far from simplistic, but the 30s and 40s golden age comics and the kind of humor, but a little bit twisted, weird kind of humor. It's a bit of a mix of. There's influence from like Mad Magazine and Ren and Stimpy and some traditional old comics that just kind of you can see it in the work, and there's some stuff that you can see he's worked really hard on this. Some really nice detail and things like these characters and the humor in it is just so bizarre. I was laughing my ass off reading this because it is just so I don't know how to actually put it into words. Again, though, you link to his website and where to order these down below, and I'll probably put those in. But that's kind of what I wanted to cover really quickly. I don't know if I can go into too much detail. I don't want to show too much to spoil too much of this. Adam's just you kind of have to just read it to flipping through this doesn't do it any justice. There's such bizarre little mini stories, and I don't want to spoil anything, but they're funny as hell. So Adam, I really appreciate that. Thank you. All you guys, Frank as well. I do really appreciate all these. Let's see what Frank has to say here. Oh, the back cover of the book. There's a QR code. All right. Yes, there is. All right. So there you go. If you can, if anyone watching this, if you want to go to his website, there's a QR code right there. You can click on that and I'll hold it for a few seconds, and in that way you can. Hopefully, there's not too much glare on that, and that should, I guess, take you right to Frank's website. I love his issue and to Toad Road Comics. Yeah, I have to get #1. I'll have to try and get #1. The only thing that's a downside is that I'm in Canada, and when I went to actually try and get it off the website, they're not that expensive. They're only like $5, but to get it shipped to me here in Canada is $16 US, and then converted to Canadian funds would have ended up being over $30 Canadian to get this shipped to me, which is a simple $5 book with shipping and conversion ends up being a ridiculous amount of money. So I'm just trying to find a better way to see if I can get the first one. So, but I really would like to buy it so I can kind of support him and kind of have both volumes. So, anyways, I may take a little bit of a break. It's because, as I said, in order to get the setup to work, I have 2 cameras plugged in. I have a Brio and an iPhone. I've got a lavalier mic hooked up, and it's all plugged into my computer, plus 2 monitors. And it's I think my poor computer is really working overtime. I've got OBS open and StreamYard through Google Chrome, and it's just working overtime. So I think what I might do is take a little bit of a break for just a little bit. I'm going to be coming back with Enrique for it's still early too. It's only like 10 after 11. I'm going to come back in a little while because Enrique and I are going to be doing Art Bloque. Unfortunately, what I didn't realize tonight is I think Artcasters is doing their show tonight, so we may have some competition. So if you don't catch ours, maybe live, catch it on the replay after would be really great. That's where we get the view count. Anyways, I was disappointed to find out that view counts don't count while you're live. They count after for rewatching of lives afterwards. Figures. But anyways, we're going to start at midnight EST. Should be 9 on the Pacific coast. Vince can't make it tonight, so it looks like it's just Enrique and I. I had asked Adam if he would join us tonight, since I just got his book and I wanted to talk a little more with him about the production of it. But we'll see if he's feeling up to it. He's had a little bit of a rough week, so he said he might be in bed by the time we get to do this, which I totally understand. So. So we'll wait and see. But so Frank, if you're around in about 45 minutes to 50 minutes, I'm going to be starting up again with a little less intense setup, because this is like way too much. This is why I don't do physical work live, where I try and paint, because I think I'd have to remove this camera. I wouldn't be able to do both, which is a shame, because I like talking to people. I like feeling like I'm making a visual connection while I'm doing it. So until I can get another camera and get this set up a little bit better, I'll have to do like pre-recordings of those. I'll have to do like formal YouTube videos, not lives, and edit them together and broadcast them. But otherwise, this is just so messy, and it just even my computer. I have one new, like an M1 iMac, and it's actually warm because I have so much going into it. Yeah. So anyways, thanks, and Frank, for stopping in. I actually had 2 viewers. I'm going to stop it here because I feel like I'm just rambling at the moment. And we'll come back in about 45 minutes. I'll probably start a few minutes early, just give a little bit of an intro. Actually, I usually like to come in about 15 minutes early. So about quarter to 12. Let's see what Frank says. Frank says he'll be listening to the Littlest Hobo theme. Absolutely. I wonder if I can play that at the start without. No, I'd be hit. That's a copyrighted song, unfortunately. But if there's a voice that keeps on calling you, come on back, and we'll see you at about 1:45. We'll see you then. Thanks for popping in. We'll see you soon.